module of our biology session. How was the previous sessions? Hope you have revised the topics and the notes very well, isn't it? Our eye performs a vast number of functions such as sensing the movements, directions, sophisticated colors and so on. Hey, what is that? It's a melodious music, isn't it? Could you identify the instrument? Yes, it's violin, isn't it? How is it possible? Do you ever think? How could you able to sense that beautiful melodious music? Which is the sense organ behind that? Yes, the ears. Human ear is the most magnificent organ which help us to transduce the sounds and help us in hearing. Not only in hearing but also helps in identifying the movements in our body. In a simple way, we can say that it helps in both hearing as well as in body balance. Ear is one of the most advanced and sensitive organ in human body. So students, in this module, we are going to discuss the structure of ear. So let's check out the fascinating details of human ear. Human ear. Even though the ear appears differ in shape and size, all are having the basic parts. So different people are having the ear in different shape and size. So when you observe, you can clearly see that. But even if they vary in size and shape, all are having the basic parts which helps in both hearing as well as in body balance and the related details. So in the module of ear, we are going to have a detailed study of the structure of ear, physiology, that means working of ear, and finally how to take care the health of our ear. So let's start. In order to study the structure in detail, we have to know where it is located. So all of you know it is located in the head region. So where it is in the temporal bone region. So only a little part of or bit of ear is exposed outside. The major components are well kept inside near the temporal bone. So in a skull, we can see different partitions. Here you can see different joints in the skull, out of which the temporal bone holds the internal parts of our ear. So near to the temporal bone, we can see the internal and middle ear of our ear. For better understanding, we can divide the structure of ear into three major parts. They are external ear, middle ear, and internal ear. So ear can be divided into three sections: external ear, middle ear, and internal or inner ear. So this is a diagrammatic representation to show the partitions of ear. Here the green color is the external ear. The middle ear is a small region, and the inner and the most important region where the receptors are present is the inner ear. So the first part, green in color, indicates the external ear and the related parts. The middle blue colored small region indicates the middle ear, and the last, the shade which is orange in color, shows the internal ear and its parts. So children, let's move each one in detail. So first of all, external ear. As the name indicates, it is the part which we see outside. It is composed of three parts: pinna, auditory canal, and tympanum or eardrum. So three major parts of external ear are pinna, that is outermost region which we can see easily, then auditory canal, a tube-like part, and the last part of the external ear is the eardrum. It is also known as tympanum. So this is the external ear. Pinna is the outermost part of our ear, which is composed of muscles, blood vessels, and nerves covered with the skin. It has so many conches means depressions or folds, which may vary person to person, but the major function of pinna is to collect the sound waves and carry it to the auditory canal. So the first part of the ear who receives the sound wave is the pinna. So carry sound waves to the auditory canal. That is a major function of the pinna. So here you can see the pinna is collecting the sound waves. So sound waves are collected by the organ called pinna, which is a part of our external ear. Now let's move to the next part, that is auditory canal, also known as ear canal. As the name indicates, a tubular portion. It carries sound waves to the tympanum. Presence of small hairs and wax inside the canal. Wax in the sense a greasy substance produced by a special gland called ceruminous gland. Ceruminous gland. So that is a gland which secretes the wax, similar to salivary gland or tear gland. There is a gland inside the ear which produces wax, a greasy secretion which provide protection for the ear, that is the wax. Okay. So presence of small hairs and wax inside the canal, that is a peculiarity. And wax and hairs prevents dust and foreign particles from entering the ear. So auditory canal is also known as ear canal. It carries sound waves to the tympanum, and the peculiarity of the structure is that it contains small hairs and wax. Wax in the sense a greasy substance which prevent the dust and foreign particles entering the ear. So here you can see the ear canal, which is almost close to our cheek region, that is in the temporal bone region, and the next part is the eardrum. So what is a drum? You might have seen certain instruments which have a stretch of skin which produces sound or rhythm based on vibration, just like tabla, mridangam, drums. So similarly, here also an opening covered by a stretch of membrane, that is the eardrum, which is the last part of our external ear. So eardrum is also known as tympanum. It is a thin circular membrane that separates the middle ear from the external ear. And the tympanum vibrates in resonance with the sound wave. That means they carry the sound waves and vibrate according to the resonance or intensity of sound waves. So this is the actual or original picture of a eardrum. Here you can see a stretch of membrane, very delicate membrane, so that it can vibrate in resonance with our sound. So sound waves produce certain vibrations which is carried to ear canal and finally it passed to the eardrum, so that the drum also vibrates in resonance with the sound. So very delicate part of our external ear. So this is the summary of the external ear. External ear is composed of three parts: pinna, ear canal and eardrum. External ear is composed of three parts: pinna, ear canal and eardrum. What's the function of pinna? To carry the sound waves towards the ear canal. The ear canal transmits the sound waves to the next part of the structure, that is eardrum. In addition to that, ear canal have wax and hairs which provide protection from the entry of microbes and other foreign particles. Okay. The next, middle ear. It is composed of ear ossicles. Ossicles means tiny bones, which are they? Malleus, incus and stapes. Three small bones which is together known as ear ossicles. Then eustachian tube. How will you pronounce? Eustachian tube. Eustachian tube. Then oval window and round window. Let's see each part in detail. So this is a picture showing the middle ear. Here you can see it is a small portion but has composed of so many parts. Which are the parts? Ear ossicles, eustachian tube, oval window and round window. These are the major parts coming inside the middle ear. So ear ossicles composed of three tiny bones: malleus, incus and stapes. They amplify and transmit the vibration of the tympanum to the internal ear. So what is the function of the ear ossicles? All the bones help to amplify and transmit. Amplify means to magnify, to increase the vibration. Why they need to increase the vibration or to amplify? Because when they reach near the eardrum, the intensity of the sound waves will be very feeble. So they have to transmit to the next part which contain fluid part called perilymph and endolymph. So there need a more higher vibration so that it will be received by our receptors. So who amplify the sound waves? The tiny bones called ear ossicles. They help to amplify the sound wave, and amplified sound is transmitted to the next part of the ear, that is internal ear. So this is the actual picture of three bones. Here you can see the three bones, malleus, incus and stapes, which are in close contact. This window-like structure is the tympanum, which is a stretch of membrane, very thin in nature. So this malleus got attached with the eardrum or tympanum, which is got connected with the stapes and incus. So incus, stapes. So all the three bones, this is the original picture viewed with the help of small camera inside the ear. This is the diagrammatic representation of the three bones and its structure. Here you can see the tympanic membrane or the eardrum. The first bone, malleus. Malleus is having the shape of a hammer. Here you can see the shape of a hammer with a head and handle. Hammer you might have seen, isn't it? For fixing the nails and all we use the hammer. Hammer is having a head region and a tail region similar to the shape of the hammer, hence the name malleus. Then the second bone is the incus. Incus is the name of anvil. Anvil means a body, a small body is there, a short process and a long process is there. That means a small projection and a long projection. All the three structures together give the particular shape, hence the name incus. And the last bone is stapes. Stapes is having the shape of a stirrup. Stirrup, as I mentioned earlier, it is a structure in which the person fix the leg in order to get back on the horse. So that is known as stirrup. There a two-piece structure, head and a foot plate where you keep the foot. So here also similarly the shape of the stirrup, hence the name stapes. So three bones, which are they? Malleus, incus and stapes. And where the malleus got attached? It is attached to the tympanum or eardrum. And where the stapes has got connected? It has got connected with the oval window. Is it clear? Now the next part, the most important part in the internal structure of the ear, that is in the middle ear, eustachian tube. So eustachian tube connects the middle ear and the pharynx. They protects the tympanum by balancing the pressure on either side of the tympanum. So what is the peculiarity of eustachian tube? It connects the middle ear to the pharynx. Where the pharynx? It is in the neck region. So ear has got a connection with our neck, that we will see in the next slide. And function of tympanum and function of eustachian tube, it protects the tympanum by balancing the pressure on either side of the tympanum. So pressure balance is done with the help of eustachian tube. This is a diagram showing the connection of ear with the nose as well as on the throat. Here you can see the internal parts of our ear, which indicates the middle ear as well as the inner ear. So the middle ear has the eustachian tube. This eustachian tube has got connection with our nose as well as the throat region. So the eustachian tube, it's a passage which has got connection with the pharynx. So this junction is known as pharynx, where the nose, the ear and the throat meets. That junction point is known as pharynx. So here the picture is some more clear, I think. The external ear, then the middle ear which contain the eustachian tube. This eustachian tube has got connection with the pharynx. And what is pharynx? It is a meeting place of nasal cavity as well as the throat, where the eustachian tube got connected. So the ear, the nose and the throat are connected at a junction called pharynx. So that's why when we have some nasal congestion or common cold, we usually feel some sort of suffocation or irritation in the throat as well as in the ear. So usually the common cold or severe cold may infect in the ear too. The infection may spread even in the ear too. Why? Because they have got connection. So eustachian tube is the part which gives the connections with the nasal cavity as well as the throat region. So mouth, nose and the ear has got connection. Next is the oval window. See, window means an opening which is covered by a stretch of membrane. So two windows we are having in the ear, that is in the middle ear. One is oval window and the other one is round window. Based on the shape they differ and they differ in the function too. The oval window is a membrane covered opening from the middle ear to cochlea. We have seen the previous slide where the stapes has got connection. That connected part is called the oval window. And the stapes bone transmit the movement of oval window, which is in turn transmitted to the internal ear. So the vibration produced by the stapes is carried by the oval window to the internal part of our ear. So this is the flow chart, simple flow chart showing the significance of oval window. The vibrations carried by the stapes is collected by this oval window and transmitted to the internal ear. So oval window act as a mediator which collects the vibration from stapes and gives to the internal part of our ear. So in this diagram you can clearly see that how this stapes is attached to the oval window. So oval window and round window are two openings seen at the extreme part of the middle ear. They have a close contact with the internal ear. The oval window get attached with the stapes so that it can transmit the vibrations to the inner part of our ear. Similarly, round window is also seen just below the oval window, which also helps in hearing. So let's see the features of round window. It is an opening covered by a stretch of membrane in the middle ear below the oval window. So here you can see just below the oval window, the opening is called round window. It allows fluid in cochlea to move, which in turn ensures that hair cells of cochlea will be stimulated and thereby helps in hearing. So even if the cochlea is seen as a coiled shaped structure, it have fluids and chambers. So proper stimulation is effected with the help of these windows and thereby it helps in hearing. The next part is the internal ear. In order to understand it in a better way, here I am giving one illustration. The whole internal ear is having a box-like structure. The outermost box, which is given in the yellow shade, is made up of bone. It is known as bony labyrinth. Labyrinth means arrangement of layers. So, the outermost layer is made up of bone, hence it is known as bony labyrinth. Inside or inner to that, there is membranous labyrinth, another box made up of membranes. So many membranes are arranged in order to protect the delicate part of our internal ear, that is known as membranous labyrinth. And you can see a gap in between or space in between the membranous and bony labyrinth that is filled with a fluid called perilymph. So I repeat, the inner ear is the most delicate and important part. So it is well protected by means of various protective structure. The outermost covering is called bony labyrinth, which is made up of bony cavity. Inner to that there is membranous coverings, that is called membranous labyrinth. In between the bony and membranous labyrinth, there is a fluid called perilymph. Peri means outside. So, the perilymph is the fluid seen in between the membranous and bony labyrinth. Inside the membranous labyrinth, there is a fluid that is known as endolymph. So, the whole internal structure is filled with a fluid called endolymph. Inside the structure, inside the membranous labyrinth, there comes semicircular canal, vestibule and cochlea. Three important parts: semicircular canal, vestibule and cochlea. Then two nerves are there. The nerve that connecting the semicircular canal and vestibule are vestibular nerve, whereas the nerve that connects the cochlea is the auditory nerve. So altogether 5 structures: semicircular canal, vestibule, cochlea, then two nerves, vestibular nerve and auditory nerve. What is the feature? Semicircular canal and vestibule is connected by vestibular nerve, whereas cochlea is get connected by the auditory nerve. So both will emerge out from this bony cavity towards the brain. Is it clear? So this is a simple illustration showing the arrangement of organs inside the internal ear. So internal ear is composed of bony labyrinth, then membranous labyrinth, then two fluids, perilymph and endolymph. Then the structures are semicircular canal, vestibule, cochlea, then two nerves, vestibular nerve and auditory nerve. Let's have a detailed study of internal ear. Internal ear is situated inside a bony case in the skull called bony labyrinth. So labyrinth means many layers. The bony case has membranous labyrinth. Inside there is an additional protection provided by a membranous structure. The membranous labyrinth is filled with a fluid named endolymph, whereas the space between membranous and bony labyrinth is filled with a fluid called perilymph. Here you can see the arrangement of labyrinth in the inner ear. The blue shading shows the bony labyrinth. So all the internal ears are covered by the bony as well as the membranous labyrinth, and outside it is filled with the perilymph and inside it is filled with the endolymph. So it is well protected and filled with different types of fluids in order to perform its function in a very good way. What is vestibular apparatus? It is a system found in the inner ear involved in balance. So body balance or the correct posture is maintained with the help of a system called vestibular apparatus. It is composed of vestibule and semicircular canal. So as we mentioned earlier, the inner ear is composed of vestibule and semicircular canal. Both are together known as vestibular apparatus. Why? Because they both engaged in maintaining our body balance. It is a sensory system that is responsible for providing our brain with information about motion. That means variety of movements, especially the movement in the head, that is head position, and spatial orientation. That means how we calculate the depth and all. Sometimes when we go very higher up, when you climb a hill, the best example is the rides, various rides in the amusement park, isn't it? All having a good experience and everybody is very familiar with those rides, isn't it? The giant wheel, Tora, different rides are there. When we go up in the ride, what happens? We feel some sort of nausea. And majority of people, when they come after ride, they start to vomiting. Why? Because the internal mechanism, that is the vestibular apparatus, got stimulated when we ride along with the giant wheel or the Tora. So there what happens is that our receptors get stimulated. They don't know we are in a ride and we are in an enjoying mood. They get stimulated when we go up and down or in a rotatory motion, and the stimulation which results in certain irritation or inconvenience to our body. So the various movements, that is the motion, then head position, the position of the head. Suddenly we will go up and then when come down, like that. The movement of head is always changing. Then spatial orientation. In some rides there are both vertical as well as rotatory movements, isn't it? cup and saucer, all those rides have, then dancing dolls having different types of motion. The cup itself will turn around, at the same time the whole plate will also turn around, which causes the movements in different directions. So spatial orientation means our body cannot calculate the correct orientation in order to maintain the body balance in a proper way. So we lost our posture. That's why we feel some sort of giddiness. Giddiness means feeling of turning around the head around and round. So all these are balanced by our vestibular apparatus. So vestibular apparatus helps in our sensory, it's a type of sensory system responsible for providing our brain with information about what motion, head position and spatial orientation. Very important part. And the damage of those receptors may result in certain diseases like vertigo. You might have heard about that. Vertigo. Then it helps to maintain our posture. So that's the most important thing. So posture is maintained. Posture means the way of sitting, walking, lying down. So all these are maintained with the help of vestibular apparatus. So here you can see the vestibular apparatus is made up of two major parts, that is semicircular canal and vestibule. Semicircular canals, from the name itself indicates three circular shaped structure. Not fully circle, semicircular. So half circle. Here is one, this is the second one and this is the third one. Three semicircular canals are there. The first one, the second one and this is the third one. So all these canals have a bulged portion that is known as ampulla. This ampulla contains sensory cells meant for body balance. Just below the ampulla, there is another chamber called vestibule. This small chamber is the vestibule, which is composed of utricle as well as saccule. So two parts are utricle and saccule. So vestibular apparatus is made up of semicircular canal and vestibule. The semicircular canals are 3 in number and they contain special structure called ampulla. What is the peculiarity of ampulla? Ampulla contains sensory hair cells which helps in body balance. Similarly, another structure called vestibule, which contain two parts, upper utricle and lower saccule, and this utricle and saccule also contain sensory hair cells which helps in body balance. So body balance is well maintained with the help of hair receptors or sensory receptors in semicircular canal as well as the vestibule. I hope now it is clear. So semicircular canal, 3 tiny fluid-filled tubes in the internal ear contain sensory receptors, helps to maintain body balance, especially the rotatory movements. So all the rotatory movements are under the activity of the semicircular canal. So when our body turned round and round, semicircular canals suddenly got excited and help us to give the balance of the body. So this is the figure showing the internal ear. Here you can see the semicircular canal, then a swollen region called vestibule, then the last part, that is the cochlea. Now let's see what is cochlea. Cochlea is a spiral shaped cavity in the bony labyrinth, like the shape of a snail. It is the part of inner ear that helps in hearing. So hearing is possible with the help of cochlea. Why? Because it contains sensory hair cells. The cross section of cochlea shows 3 chambers. Even if it is have a coiled shape, it has three compartments or three chambers. Two of them is filled with perilymph while one is filled with endolymph. Organ of Corti contains sensory hair cells which helps in hearing. So specialized structure which helps in hearing inside the cochlea is organ of Corti. So let's see what is organ of Corti. This is the cross section showing the compartments of cochlea. Here you can see three chambers, two of them filled with the perilymph and the middle chamber is filled with the endolymph. And what is the peculiarity? It contains a basilar membrane, a small membrane which contains sensory hair cell. So that compartment is known as organ of Corti. So cochlea contains three compartments, 1, 2 and 3. The upper and the lower contain perilymph fluid, whereas the middle chamber contain endolymph. And what is the prominent feature of the middle chamber? Middle chamber is containing especially sensory cells which help to receive the sound waves. So consists of three chambers. Middle and lower chambers are separated by basilar membrane. Specialized sensory hair cells are present in basilar membrane which function as auditory receptors. So three chambers are there. Middle and lower are separated by a membrane called basilar membrane. And the peculiarity of the basilar membrane is that it contains sensory hair cells which helps in auditory, which helps in hearing. Specialized sensory hair cells are present in basilar membrane which function as auditory receptor. The basilar membrane and sensory hair cells are together known as organ of Corti. So hair cells and membrane are together known as organ of Corti. So this is the structure. Here you can see this orangish color, that is the sensory hair cells, and they rest on a membrane called a basilar membrane. So this ash color or grey color is the basilar membrane in which the auditory receptors are lying, so that they together known as organ of Corti. So this picture also give a better idea of organ of Corti. So organ of Corti is the basilar membrane and the sensory hair cells in the middle chamber of the cochlea. So cochlea has got three chambers: upper chamber, middle chamber and lower chamber. Upper chamber and lower chamber is filled with the perilymph, whereas the middle chamber is filled with the endolymph. And what is the feature of the middle chamber? It contains a membrane called basilar membrane which the auditory receptors are resting. So the sound waves are received by these auditory receptors or specialized receptors, and they are connected to the auditory nerve. Now let's see the two nerves connected with the internal ear. Vestibular nerve, they transmit impulse from vestibular apparatus to the cerebellum, and the auditory nerve, they transmit the impulse from cochlea to auditory center of brain. So the vestibular nerve is concerned with body balance, so it is connected with the cerebellum, and auditory nerve concerned with hearing, so it is connected with the auditory center of the brain. So obviously it is related to cerebrum. So vestibular nerve connected to cerebellum, whereas auditory nerve connected to cerebrum, that is auditory center of our brain. So this is the summary of the structure that we have discussed so far. Human ear is divided into three parts: external ear, then middle ear and internal ear. External ear, then middle ear and internal ear. External ear is composed of pinna, ear canal and the eardrum. Eardrum is also known as tympanum or tympanic membrane. Then middle ear is composed of ear ossicles, that is malleus, incus and stapes. Then two windows, oval window and round window. Then eustachian tube, a tube that connects the middle ear to the pharynx. Inner ear is composed of semicircular canal and vestibule. They are together known as vestibular apparatus. Then a coiled shaped structure called cochlea, which helps in hearing. Vestibular apparatus helps in body balance, whereas cochlea helps in hearing. Vestibular apparatus is connected with the vestibular nerve, whereas the cochlea is connected with cochlear or auditory nerve. Both reach or both carry signals to brain, but in two different areas. Vestibular nerve got connection with the cerebellum, whereas cochlear or auditory nerve got connection with the cerebrum, that is specialized region for audition. So it is with the help of brain we identify the sound. Is it clear? So students, in this module we have discussed about the structure of ear. So ear is divided into three sections or three parts: the external ear, the middle ear and the inner ear. The external ear is composed of pinna, ear canal and eardrum. The middle ear is composed of ear ossicles, eustachian tube, oval window and round window. And the innermost very delicate part of our ear composed of the following structures: the vestibular apparatus, which contain semicircular canal as well as vestibule, then cochlea, two types of nerves, auditory as well as vestibular nerve. So in this way, our ear is arranged in a perfect manner in order to receive the sound waves and do the function of balancing. So here I am concluding. Thank you.